Woodruff on the NewsHour tonight.
Our counterintelligence mission is investigating the Russian government's efforts to interfere in the 2016 presidential election.
FBI Director James Comey confirms a probe into Russian meddling, including possible links between Moscow and the Trump campaign, while saying there's no evidence for the president's charge he was wiretapped. In our other lead story, President Trump's Supreme Court nominee, Judge Neil Gorsuch, faces the Senate Judiciary Committee on the first day of confirmation hearings.
97% of those 2,700 cases I've decided were decided unanimously, and that I've been in the majority 99% of the time. That's my record, and that's how we do things in the West.
And from the items in a market to celebrating work, how one art exhibit is defining the nature of home here in the U.S. for Latino Americans.
So I'm at once Mexican and American. I'm in between. That in-between space, that in-between place that I occupy is something that is constantly changing within myself.
All that and more on tonight's PBS NewsHour.
Major funding for the PBS NewsHour has been provided by
moving our economy for 160 years. BNSF, the engine that connects us.
Our tradition has been to take care of Mother Earth because it fed us, gave us water that gives us life. The land is here for everyone.
The William and Flora Hewlett Foundation, helping people build measurably better lives.
Supported by the Rockefeller Foundation, promoting the well-being of humanity around the world by building resilience and inclusive economies. More at rockefellerfoundation.org. And with the ongoing support of these individuals and institutions. This program was made possible by the Corporation for Public Broadcasting and by contributions to your PBS station from viewers like you. Thank you.
An unusually newsy day in the nation's capital, even by Washington standards, that make up our two leads. A House committee delves into a possible Russian government role in the campaign that elected Donald Trump. And a Senate panel begins hearings on the man chosen by President Trump to serve on the Supreme Court. We begin with the Russia file and Lisa Desjardins, who's been watching it all.
I hope today's hearing will shed light on...
In a rare open hearing of the House Intelligence Committee, a rare admission from the FBI director.
I have been authorized by the Department of Justice to confirm that the FBI, as part of our counterintelligence mission, is investigating the Russian government's efforts to interfere in the 2016 presidential election. And that includes investigating the nature of any links between individuals associated with the Trump campaign and the Russian government, and whether there was any coordination between the campaign and Russia's efforts.
Beside Comey sat National Security Agency Chief Michael Rogers. Both stood by the intelligence community's earlier report that Russian President Vladimir Putin clearly favored the candidacy of Donald Trump.
Putin hated Secretary Clinton so much that the flip side of that coin was he had a clear preference for the person running against the person he hated so much.
Committee Democrats and Republicans pursued sharply different lines of questioning.
In early July, Carter Page summoned candidate Trump identified as one of his national security advisors travels to Moscow on a trip approved by the Trump campaign.
Ranking Democrat Adam Schiff listed contacts between Trump advisors and Russian officials and raised concern.
Many of the Trump's campaign personnel, including the president himself, have ties to Russia and Russian interests. This is, of course, no crime. On the other hand, if the Trump campaign or anyone associated with it aided or abetted the Russians, it would not only be a serious crime, it would also represent one of the most shocking betrayals of democracy in history.
But committee chairman Devin Nunes and other Republicans pushed to show that Russians did not directly change vote totals.
Admiral Rogers, do you have any evidence that Russia's cyber actors changed vote tallies?
No, I do not.
The president soon after tweeted that the NSA and FBI tell Congress that Russia did not influence electoral process. But back at the hearing, Democrat Jim Hines pounced, saying a lack of manipulating votes directly is different than no influence at all.
It's not too far of a logical leap to conclude that the assertion that you have told the Congress that there was no influence on the electoral process is not quite right.
Right. It certainly wasn't our intention to say that today because we don't have any information on that subject. And that's not something that was looked at.
More than anything, Republicans raised alarm over leaks and stories with reportedly classified information and names in the investigation.
I thought it was against the law to disseminate classified information. Is it?
Oh, yes, sure. It's a serious crime.
South Carolina Congressman Trey Gowdy went farther, warning that unless the leaks are stopped, a key provision of the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act, or FISA, may not be reauthorized by Congress this year.
Trust me, you and I both want to see it reauthorized. It is in jeopardy if we don't get this resolved.
The hearing hit extraordinary territory. Democrats pushed on President Trump's charges that President Obama wiretapped him.
With respect to the president's tweets about alleged wiretapping directed at him by the prior administration, I have no information that supports those tweets.
Republican Chairman Nunes agreed, but did not rule out that other measures could have been involved.
It's still possible that other surveillance activities were used against President Trump and his associates.
President Trump and his aides have refused to back off the surveillance charge. They say its veracity is for the investigation to determine. Meanwhile, today, White House spokesman Sean Spicer defended the president and his campaign, but he also seemed to downplay the campaign roles of two key players known for their ties to Russia: former campaign advisor Michael Flynn and former campaign manager Paul Manafort.
Even General Flynn was a volunteer of the campaign. And then obviously there's been this discussion of Paul Manafort, who played a very limited role for a very limited amount of time.
At the hearing, over it all was Russia, a country the NSA chief said changed its tactics in 2016.
I'd say the biggest difference from my perspective was both the use of cyber, the hacking, as a vehicle to physically gain access to information, to extract that information, and then to make it widely publicly available without any alteration or change.
And the only thing that I'd add is they were unusually loud in their intervention. It's almost as if they didn't care that we knew what they were doing or that they wanted us to see what they were doing.
FBI Director Comey gave a warning.
They'll be back. I mean, they'll be back in 2020, they may be back in 2018, and one of the lessons they may draw from this is that they were successful because they introduced chaos and division and discord.
Chairman Nunes closed the hearing with a stark verdict on the 5-hour session.
You know, there is a big gray cloud that you've now put over people who have very important work to do to lead this country. And so the faster you can get to the bottom of this, it's going to be better for all Americans.
For the PBS NewsHour, I'm Lisa Desjardins at the Capitol.
And we turn now to the ranking member of the House Intelligence Committee. He is Democratic Representative Adam Schiff of California. Congressman Schiff, welcome back to the program. What's the main thing that you think was clarified at today's hearing?
Well, I think a number of things. First, I think Director Comey made the case that he had opened an investigation into potential agency with a foreign power or coordination with a foreign power. That's not done unless there is specific and credible information or evidence that someone is colluding I also think that it was significant that you had two directors directly rebuff the president's claims that he was illegally wiretapped or wiretapped at all by his predecessor. But more than I think the main takeaway, I hope, for the country from the hearing is a recognition of just what serious business this is, because as Director Comey says, the Russians will do this again. And we really need a thorough investigation to determine just what the Russians did, how did they do it, were there U.S. persons involved, and how do we protect ourselves from their future efforts to interfere.
Well, I hear you say this, Congressman Schiff, and yet President Trump tweeted today that Admiral Rogers and the FBI Director James Comey told Congress that Russia did not influence the electoral process in the United States last year. So that doesn't seem to square with what you just said.
Well, it didn't square with what the witnesses said at the hearing either, and that was pointed out by my colleague Jim Himes, who followed up with both directors and did some real-time fact-checking on the president. And of course, that's not what the directors said. The directors can't really comment. It's not their mission, their job, or their expertise to say what effect the Russian interference had in terms of outcomes. But clearly, they interfered with the electoral process. And here's the problem. If the president is going to distort what the intelligence community says in open hearing, how can we have confidence when the president comes before the country to share what the intelligence agencies have told him in closed classified session, because the country needs to know, because the president wants to take action, where the president needs to decide what the response should be to North Korea or around Iran? How can we have confidence that the president is being truthful? And the short answer is, if he keeps this up, we can't. And that is a real danger to the country.
Well, what does that mean, Congressman Schiff? I mean, what are you saying you're worried that could happen?
Well, you know, the best example I can give is, let's say 6 months from now, the president says that Iran is cheating on the nuclear deal. Obviously, if Iran isn't cheating, that's a big problem. If he's making this up the way he's making up a claim that Barack Obama wiretapped him, that's a big problem. If the president is telling the truth, in a way, it's a bigger problem. Because will he be believed? Will he be believed by the American people? Will he be believed by our allies that he needs to rally to reimpose sanctions or take some other action against Iran? Each time the president undermines his own credibility, he weakens himself, he weakens the institution of the presidency, he weakens the credibility of the entire country and our standing in the rest of the world. And when there's a crisis, we pay a dear price for that loss of credibility.
On the other hand, Congressman, Republicans on the committee today were calling into question whether the intelligence community can be relied on. Question after question was about leaks coming from the intelligence community and anyone who had access to that information. President Trump, is saying what the intelligence community says is fake news. He's dismissing it. Republicans are saying they're leaking all over the place. So I guess my question, and then you also had Congressman Trey Gowdy, your Republican colleague on the committee, saying that perhaps the FISA court, the courts that authorize much of their investigation, may be in trouble. Are you confident that an investigation is going to be thoroughly carried out here?
Well, on the leak issue, first of all, I think we have to understand just the breadth of what people are talking about when they talk about leaks. The leaks that most concern me, that ought to most concern the country, is when information is leaked that betrays sources and methods of information that our allies, that expose us to danger, because our enemies can then perpetrate attacks because we lose those confidential sources of information. Those are the most serious leaks. What seems to really upset the administration is a different kind of leak. It's a leak that exposes malfeasance within the administration. What really upset the president wasn't the fact that Mike Flynn was unmasked to the country and that Mike Flynn was exposed as having lied to the country and the vice president about his conversations with the Russian ambassador. What really upset the president was that essentially he was caught in the lie. And you'll remember, even after firing Flynn, he wanted to praise Flynn and castigate the press. That's something very different. That's a leak that discloses malfeasance in the administration. And, you know, I would say, look, this leak problem, every administration has it. And one of the things my GOP colleagues didn't want to acknowledge today, and the president certainly doesn't want to acknowledge, is they can say, we think, we fear, we suspect this is coming from the intelligence community. They're a bunch of Nazis. That's essentially the president's original tweet on this. But it's also very possible that some of these leaks are coming from the White House itself. And a division among people, staff in the White House. Or
you mean from the Trump White House?
From the Trump White House, exactly. Because, of course, the Trump White House knew this information as well. And there have been lots of public reports about how there's infighting among the Trump administration and to watch your back. Well, maybe somebody wanted Mike Flynn out among the president's own team. Now, I don't know that that's happened, but if we're serious about this, I would say to my GOP colleagues, be careful what you wish for, because the trail may lead right back to the White House.
Congressman Adam Schiff, the ranking member of the House Intelligence Committee, thank you, and we'll be talking to you again, I know. In a moment, we will hear from Republican Senator Charles Grassley, but first we want to turn to that other major story today, day one of the confirmation hearings for Neil Gorsuch, President Trump's pick for the Supreme Court. Here are some excerpts of what senators on the Judiciary Committee, as well as the nominee himself, had to say in opening statements.
Judge, welcome to the Senate Judiciary Committee.
It was day one of Judge Neil Gorsuch's hearing, as senators took turns making opening statements and laying out partisan attacks for the week to come. Judiciary Chairman Chuck Grassley opened with an alert for the nominee.
Judge, I'm afraid over the next couple of days, you'll get some questions that will cause you just to scratch your head. Senators will cite some opinions of yours, and then we'll hear that you're for the big guy and against the little guy.
Gorsuch's record on corporate cases was a theme that carried through the day.
Your record on corporate versus human litigants comes in by one count at 21-2 for corporations. Tellingly, big special interests and their front groups are spending millions of dollars in a dark money campaign to push your confirmation.
One of my colleagues says that Judge Gorsuch is pro-business or against the little guy. I think the record shows that we can be confident that he will read the law as written and not legislate from the bench.
For their part, Republicans spent most of the hearing praising Gorsuch's legal resume.
Judge Gorsuch's legal experience is well known. My Democrat colleagues have referred to the American Bar Association's rating as the gold standard for evaluating judicial nominees. The ABA's unanimous, well-qualified rating for Judge Gorsuch confirms that he has the highest level of professional qualifications, including integrity, competence, and temperament.
While Democrats knocked his constitutional philosophy as too rigid.
Judge Gorsuch has also stated that he believes judges should look to the original public meaning of the Constitution when they decide what a provision of the Constitution means. This is personal, but I find this originalist judicial philosophy to be really troubling. I firmly believe the American Constitution is a living document intended to evolve as our country evolves.
Republican Senator Mike Lee pushed back.
Referring to you as an originalist just doesn't stick. This is not a description that was attributed to you the last time you stood before this committee and went through a confirmation process. Nowhere in the record is there any reference to you being outside the mainstream.
All this amidst a bitter backdrop for Democrats after Republicans last year blocked Merrick Garland, President Obama's pick to replace the late Justice Antonin Scalia. His seat has now been vacant for more than a year.
It was clear that Senator McConnell was making a political decision, hoping a Republican president would be elected. He was willing to ignore the tradition and precedent of the Senate so that you could sit at this witness table today.
Fellow Coloradan Democratic Senator Michael Bennet, who helped introduce Gorsuch, acknowledged the tension.
I'm also here because I believe the Senate has a constitutional duty to give fair consideration to this nominee, just as we had a duty to consider fairly Judge Merrick Garland. But, Mr. Chairman, two wrongs never make a right.
Some Democrats also aimed their attacks at President Trump.
The independence of those judges has never been more threatened and never more important. And a large part of the threat comes from the man who nominated you.
As for the nominee himself, he spoke last, giving an opening statement of his own and promising independence.
Mr. Chairman, these days we sometimes hear judges cynically described as politicians in robes, seeking to enforce their own politics rather than striving to apply the law impartially. But if I thought that were true, I'd hang up the robe.
Gorsuch tried to deflect some of the claims made by Democrats.
My decisions have never reflected a judgment about the people before me, only a judgment about the law and the facts at issue in each particular case. A good judge can promise no more than that, and a good judge should guarantee no less. For a judge who likes every outcome he reaches is probably a pretty bad judge.
The hearings continue tomorrow and through the week. And now to my conversation with the chairman of the Senate Judiciary Committee. He's Republican Charles Grassley of Iowa. We spoke a short time ago, and I began by asking what the country learned about Judge Gorsuch today.
I think they learned that he is willing to be a judge and not be a legislator, and I think he tells best what he's up to when he says a judge that likes all of his decisions isn't a very good judge. He's getting back to the independence that a member of the judiciary branch needs to show if he's going to truly be a referee within our governmental system. And he showed that very clearly by demonstrating that you should look at the facts of the case, look at the law, and be dispassionate. In other words, leave your own personal views out of it. And I think that's reinforced by his writings very well. Of course, we're going to go through all this over the next 48 hours. But I believe what I'm telling you kind of sums up what we're going to know at the end of 48 hours.
Senator, many Republicans say they want Judge Gorsuch to be as close as possible to the late Justice Antonin Scalia. He's clearly a different person, but are his views different from those of Justice Scalia?
Well, I think the difference is only in the sense of degrees, and I don't know whether there's been enough comparison to his writings with Justice Scalia, but from the standpoint of being a strict constructionist of the Constitution and following the intent of Congress and not legislating from the bench, I think in that general way, he fits very well in with Scalia. But quite frankly, I don't know whether anybody can replace Scalia.
Well, we noticed, Senator Grassley, Democrats on the Judiciary Committee today said they're concerned about Judge Gorsuch. Among other things, we heard Senator Pat Leahy say he's got support from conservative interest groups that are anti-choice, anti-environment, pro-corporate. Are these areas, though, that Republicans, conservatives are counting on him to reflect?
Well, I think that you're not going to get any opinion out of him other than what he's said in these cases. And I don't think it's fair to say that he's pro one way and anti another way. I think in regard to corporate interests, as an example, he's been on both sides of it. He does not have a philosophy that is easy to predict, except that he's going to interpret the law and not read something into the law that Congress didn't intend.
Your fellow Republican, Senator Lindsey Graham, today deplored the fact that there's increasing partisanship in Senate votes to confirm Supreme Court and other judicial nominees. And it is the case, Senator, that the votes have been increasingly along party lines. Do you think Judge Gorsuch will end up winning Democratic votes?
A few, but I don't think very many. I think the base of the Democrat Party is very strongly wanting to demonstrate two things. One, that they may not approve of his approach to the law and the Constitution. And secondly, they want to make a case that Garland should have been approved last year.
Finally, Senator Grassley, I want to ask you about the other big story of the day. It happened on the other side of the Capitol, and that is the FBI director, the head of the National Security Agency, testified before the House Intelligence Committee. The FBI director, Jim Comey, confirmed that his agency is looking into connections, any possible connections between the Russian attempts to influence the 2016 election and the Trump campaign. He also said that there's no evidence that President Obama ordered a wiretap of President Trump. Overall, do you have confidence that the FBI is going to get to the bottom of all this?
I think it's going to be very, very difficult, and it's going to go on for a long time. But I do think that they should be just as vigorous in investigating the leak possibility as well, because that's where national security could be at risk. And we talk all about investigating Trump or Trump people, but I don't hear enough from them on investigating the leaks, which is a felony if the person can be found.
So you think the leaks are more important than any possible coordination between the Trump campaign and the Russian interference in the election?
Not at all. I think they're both of equal importance, but all I hear them talking about is a relationship between Trump people and Russia. I don't hear anything about the breaking of leaks. And in the first place, in regard to the relationship, there's a lot of accusations, but it was pretty clear today it didn't lead to them believing that there was any connection between Trump campaign and the Russian government.
Do you think, finally, Senator, that the FBI statement, they don't see any evidence that President Obama ordered a wiretap of President Trump during the campaign, that puts that to rest?
I think that you're going to have to wait until the Senate Intelligence Committee gets done. In a couple weeks, they're going to get into that before I can draw that conclusion.
Senator Charles Grassley, the chairman of the Senate Judiciary Committee, thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Judy.
And back to the Supreme Court nominee now. We want to take a closer look at Judge Neil Gorsuch from those who know him well and have studied his record closely. Jeffrey Brown has this portrait.
Today, I am keeping another promise to the American people.
President Trump announced his pick in the East Room of the White House on January 31st.
He is the man of our country and a man who our country really needs, and needs badly, to ensure the rule of law and the rule of justice.
And Americans had a first chance to meet Neil Gorsuch, his wife Louise at his side. A man who at age 49 could have a profound effect on the nation's laws and political life for decades to come.
Standing here in a house of history and acutely aware of my own imperfections, I pledge that if I am confirmed, I will do all my powers permit to be a faithful servant of the Constitution and laws of this great country.
He's very humble. If you met him in a crowd of people, he would not be the person that stood out and tried to capture the most attention of the group. He would be the person that would listen and sort of wait for an opportunity to share his thoughts.
Michael Trent has known Gorsuch since they were freshmen in high school and served as best man at his wedding. He's talked with his friend in recent days.
Where's his head at right now? It's very focused on preparing for the hearings. He wants to be sure that he gets it right. He wants to make sure that he puts his best foot forward.
He also knows, of course, the politics of our time.
You know, I wish people would look past, you know, the rough and tumble bit of politics and what's going on in the press, and look to the person that he is.
Trent says Neil Gorsuch is a Coloradan through and through, a lover of the outdoors, fishing, hiking, and skiing. He was raised in Denver with two siblings, his mother a prominent Republican state legislator. She was tapped by Ronald Reagan as the first woman to head the EPA, bringing the family to Washington, D.C. when Neil was 14.
I did submit my resignation to the President of the United States with regret last night about 5 o'clock.
Ann Gorsuch Burford resigned in the wake of a congressional investigation into mismanagement of a hazardous waste program, just 22 months into her tenure. Politically conservative from an early age, Neil Gorsuch attended Columbia University, where he and friends started their own conservative paper called The Federalist.
And I think probably what he saw at Columbia was one side being reported over and over again, and he wanted to provide another side.
Even more than that, he wants to put a kind of conservative view into a real liberal bastion, really.
Well, it was Columbia, in New York City, the 1980s. The fact that he was ambitious enough to start his own paper and get his own thoughts out there, I think speaks a lot to the type of person that he is. I mean, a lot of people will go off and do wild things in college, and Neil basically took that opportunity to put his thoughts on paper and get them out there.
Gorsuch attended Harvard Law School and was a Marshall Scholar at Oxford, where he met his wife. He clerked for Supreme Court Justices Byron White and Anthony Kennedy, who remains a key player on the court today. He spent 10 years in private practice and 1 in the Justice Department under George W. Bush, who appointed Gorsuch, then just 38, to a seat on the 10th Circuit Court of Appeals, based in Denver.
You're not surprised that he's up for a Supreme Court nomination?
Actually, I'm shocked.
You are?
Yeah, to be honest with you, he's such a down-to-earth guy. You just don't get that sense of, he's gonna go try and run the world.
Jamil Jaffer worked with Gorsuch at the law firm and later as his law clerk, and has remained a friend. Jaffer now teaches at the Antonin Scalia Law School at George Mason University, named for the man who Neil Gorsuch may replace.
One of the interesting things about Judge Gorsuch is that he really is a judge's judge.
What does that mean exactly?
So he's not looking to get a particular outcome. He doesn't have a particular policy view that he wants to impose upon the law. What it is it's applying the law as Congress wrote it, applying the Constitution as the people who wrote it understood it, right? And not sort of going outside those bounds. And so, maybe that's a conservative philosophy in the sense that it's originalist, it's textualist, in the mold of, I would say, Justice Scalia, but also very mainstream in the sense that when you apply it to any given case, you're not going to necessarily like all the outcomes.
Okay, I understand it, but it also sounds a little maybe naive in the political context we're talking about, right?
Sure.
Scalia is a lightning rod on all kinds of social and all kinds of political issues.
Don't get me wrong. I mean, Judge Gorsuch is certainly conservative, but I'd say he's in the mainstream of conservatism. You're not going to get a liberal judge from President Donald Trump, right? That's not what he ran on. But if you're looking for sort of a mainstream conservative, a judge's judge, somebody who's not going to go out of the way to either get to a conservative outcome or a liberal outcome, then there you've got Neil Gorsuch.
What is known of Neil Gorsuch's views? Among his early writings, a book on assisted suicide, arguing against the practice and for the inviolability of human life. And a National Review article from before he became a judge, critical of liberals who, quote, have become addicted to the courtroom rather than elected leaders and the ballot box as the primary means of affecting their social agenda. In a prominent and contentious case, Judge Gorsuch sided with Hobby Lobby stores, which objected to a requirement under the Affordable Care Act that it provide contraception coverage. That decision was later upheld by the Supreme Court. But he's also written on the needs of low-income litigants and prisoners, calling for more affordable legal services and better representation in death penalty cases. Gorsuch was personally close to Justice Scalia. In a speech last year at Case Western Reserve, he spoke of being on the ski slope when he learned of Scalia's death.
I immediately lost what breath I had left, and I'm not embarrassed to admit that I couldn't see the rest of the way down the mountain for the tears.
He added this of their shared judicial philosophy.
As Justice Scalia put it, and it rings true to me, if you're going to be a good and faithful judge, you have to resign yourself to the fact that you're not always going to like the conclusions you reach. If you like them all the time, you're probably doing something wrong.
Neil Gorsuch is a family man, a conservative from Colorado.
Conservatives and business groups like what they see.
Why did he make it harder to hold Wall Street accountable or for women to get birth control?
But liberals see a different picture, one in which Gorsuch could fall on the court's far right end of the spectrum.
It really doesn't matter whether he's a genial person or a great guy to go skiing with. I'm sure all of those things are true, but what really matters is his record and whether he can be the independent justice that we really need on the Supreme Court to provide a check against potential overreach from the elected branches.
Elizabeth Wydra, head of the Constitutional Accountability Center, a public interest law and advocacy group, says Donald Trump set out a clear litmus test, including a willingness to overturn Roe v. Wade. One can only assume, she told me, Gorsuch met the test.
Certainly, we want our justices to look to the text and history of the Constitution, But what I'm concerned about is whether he looks to the text and history of the whole Constitution, including amendments that made our Constitution more equal, ensuring that people of all colors, men and women, are treated equally as citizens.
It almost sounds as though anybody that Trump would put forward, because he was very clear about what he wanted, right?
I think this is where the hearing becomes very important. There is a big burden placed on Neil Gorsuch to come before the Senate Judiciary Committee and show that despite the process by which he was picked, replete with litmus tests and high rhetoric from Donald Trump, Neil Gorsuch has the burden to show to the Senate Judiciary Committee that he will be this fair, independent judge who will follow the law where it leads.
Neil Gorsuch has spent recent weeks meeting with senators on both sides of the aisle and preparing for those hearings. A very public debate now underway. From Washington, I'm Jeffrey Brown for the PBS NewsHour.
And we continue our look at the potential next Supreme Court Justice Neil Gorsuch and the opening day of his confirmation hearings with NewsHour regular Marcia Coyle of the National Law Journal, Tom Goldstein, he's the founder of SCOTUSblog.com, Pam Karlan, she's a professor of law at Stanford University who worked in the Justice Department during the Obama administration, and Paul Clement, a former Solicitor General under President George W. Bush. And we welcome all of you to the NewsHour. Marcia, I'm going to start with you. Overall takeaway from today's session?
Well, the first day usually is not all that substantive. The hearing played out the way it has traditionally. The senators, each senator has an opening statement. Then there's an introduction of the nominee and the nominee's opening statement. That did happen. But what we gather from the first day is we see where the concerns are on both sides, where the questioning may lead, what kind of difficulties the nominee may have in answering some of the questions. On the Republican side today, we saw a lot of emphasis on Judge Gorsuch's qualifications. On the Democratic side, we saw specific concerns about opinions he has written in certain areas, such as workers' protection, whether he would give deference to agencies' rules. So it's really a laying out of what's to come.
Paul Clement, what was your main takeaway today?
Well, I thought probably the single most interesting part of the hearing was Judge Gorsuch's own statement. And I think what the American public saw was somebody who's very poised, very experienced. He's been a federal court of appeals judge for over 10 years. And I think somebody who, by kind of any conventional standard, is qualified to be on the Supreme Court of the United States. And so I think that'll probably give us an indication. We'll obviously see a lot more of Judge Gorsuch in tomorrow's hearings, answering questions in the back and forth. But that was really the highlight for me.
And Pam Karlan, again, we only heard just a moment or so from Judge Gorsuch himself today, but what was your main takeaway in terms of what we now know?
Well, from Judge Gorsuch himself, you know, he made this point, and you saw it in the clip, that in 97% of his cases below, the decision was unanimous. That's totally different from what happens on the Supreme Court. The job of a judge and the job of a justice are very different because justices are resolving the constitutional questions that divide us most. And I think you got a sense from the senators that the senators, too, recognize that there are two very different constitutional visions at stake here.
Well, and I wanted to ask you about that, Tom Goldstein, because it struck me. He said that's how we do it in the West. He said 97% of his the cases he decided on were unanimous. Even more were decided by he was in the majority. Does that tell us something about him or not?
It probably doesn't tell us as much as the outcomes in the cases and the cases where there was a division. When you get to the Supreme Court, the stakes are harder and higher, and the questions are harder. I don't think that there's any suggestion that you would really see Neil Gorsuch kind of assuming the mantle of the center justice on the Supreme Court. Rather, he's going to fit the mold of the person that he's replacing, Justice Scalia. In all likelihood, he's going to be a solidly conservative judge.
And what did you hear today, Marcia, in terms of lines that you expect the Democrats, of questioning, criticism that you expect the Democrats
Judy,
to
I think every confirmation hearing, at least one that I've covered, has something unique about it that drives the questioning. And on the Democratic side today, and what I think will drive a lot of the questioning is something that Senator Klobuchar said that sort of stayed with me. She said, basically, we can't evaluate your credentials in a legal cocoon. They have to be evaluated in the context of the era that we live in. And for her and her colleagues, that context is pretty much what they believe the Trump administration has created. She talked about the president's criticisms of judges, the obstacles to voting, just a whole range of things that she feels he has to be measured against in terms of his independence. So I think we're going to see a lot of questioning that follows along those lines. One of the sort of unfortunate things, I think, of what the Senate did on the Garland nomination was that it pushed the Supreme Court into a very bitter election campaign. And that resulted in both candidates having litmus tests for their judicial nominees. Right. And the fact that President Trump said that he would appoint someone who, for example, would overturn Roe v. Wade really creates a problem for Judge Gorsuch when he gets questioned about that to prove his independence.
And Paul Clement, how do you think that will affect his approach to this process for the next 2 days?
Well, I think what I would anticipate is he's going to be very careful about not compromising his ability to sit on cases if he gets confirmed. So I don't think there's going to be a dramatically different sort of willingness to answer questions compared to prior nominations. Now, that may be dissatisfying for some members of the committee, to be sure, but I think it's important. You know, you don't want somebody getting confirmed but then having to recuse themselves on all manner of cases because they've essentially gotten into the nitty-gritty of how they would decide cases. So I don't anticipate you'll see any of that. I think a lot of the focus is going to be, you know, you heard some of this in the senatorial statements today, big guy versus little guy cases, religious liberty, because his Hobby Lobby case on the Court of Appeals was one of his more prominent cases. But in a way, it almost speaks volumes, the cases that they're not talking about. I mean, he really did manage in 10 years not to decide cases in other hot-button areas, and I think that's probably going to be a little bit frustrating for some of the senators who are going to want to really dig in and engage on the substance.
And pick up on that, Pam Karlan. I mean, where can Democrats go in talking and questioning Judge Gorsuch that will elicit some information about how he's going to judge, how he will rule as a Supreme Court justice if he's confirmed?
Well, I think one of the places they can go is to talk about cases that have already been decided in areas of law that are quite fixed and ask him what he thinks about the way prior justices, went about thinking about those cases. I'll give you one example, which was when the Supreme Court decided Brown against Board of Education, the case where the court held that de jure segregation in public schools was unconstitutional. They decided two things that day that I think the senators really should press him on. One is they decided that applied to the federal government as well through the Fifth Amendment. You can't read the Fifth Amendment, which was enacted in 1791, to suggest that those people who enacted it thought that it prohibited race discrimination. So how do we get the right result there if you're a strict originalist? The same thing with regard to the 14th Amendment. And Chief Justice Warren's opinion for the court said, in trying to decide whether segregation in public schools is unconstitutional, we can't turn the clock back to 1868. Does Judge Gorsuch think that's wrong? Would he have signed on to an opinion that said that? Or would he have taken the view that, for example, Justice Scalia gave in an interview with the California Lawyer magazine where he said, you know, let's face it, the 14th Amendment, the Equal Protection Clause, really has very little to say about whether sex discrimination is unconstitutional. So I think he can be pressed on cases that aren't going to come before the court. But quite candidly, I think if he's anywhere as skillful as the four predecessor nominees, he'll play rope-a-dope.
We'll pick up on that. Tom
Well, there are two
Goldstein.
kinds of nomination hearings. One is where the nominee knows they have the votes, and there's the other kind where they don't, and Neil Gorsuch does. The Republicans have a majority in the Senate. There's no prospect that any Republican will vote against him. So all he has to do is just do no harm, essentially, and so I expect he'll say relatively little because that's the common sense things to do, and as Paul indicates, he has a good reason to not get into details because those issues might come in front of him. The one thing I do think we saw today was that there wasn't a hint by the Democrats that they were going to attempt to filibuster the nomination and force the administration to get to, and the nomination to get to 60 votes, or cause a change in the Senate rules. They just don't seem, the Democrats don't seem to have the energy and the strategy to lay down on the tracks over this nominee, because he seems to be within the mainstream of what you would expect from a Republican president.
Well, just to follow up on that, how much pressure is there on him to come across as so acceptable to the Democrats that they don't resort?
I don't think actually that much. I mean, he does come across as a very common sense guy, relatively plain spoken, very clear. He hasn't decided hot button issues like abortion and affirmative action in extreme ways. And so all he has to do is just not give Democrats an excuse to caricature him as an extremist on the right, and then he's fine.
Well, we are going to be following it for the next 2 days, and we're going to have all four of you back. Tom Goldstein, Marcia Coyle, Pam Carlin, Paul Clement. We thank you, and we look forward to seeing you back here tomorrow.
Thanks.
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 And tomorrow morning, you can turn to our website and our social channels starting at 9:30 Eastern to watch continued live coverage of Day 2 of the Gorsuch hearings. You can also find our live blog of news, commentary, and analysis related to the confirmation proceedings. That's at pbs.org/newshour. In the day's other news, there is word that U.S. authorities will ban many electronic devices on certain incoming foreign flights. News accounts tonight say the Homeland Security Department will announce the move tomorrow. It is said to include about a dozen foreign air carriers flying out of Africa and the Middle East. A suicide car bomb killed at least 23 people today and wounded nearly 50 more in Baghdad. Police and hospital officials said that the target was a busy commercial district in a mostly Shiite neighborhood. The Islamic State group has staged a number of attacks in Baghdad, even as it's losing ground to a government offensive to retake the city of Mosul. The violence erupted as Iraq's Prime Minister Haider al-Abadi was visiting President Trump at the White House. The president praised Abadi, but said the U.S. pullout from Iraq left a vacuum for ISIS militants to fill.
Your soldiers are fighting hard. I know Mosul is moving along, but Mosul was ours until we left. So perhaps we shouldn't have gone in, and certainly we shouldn't have left. We should never, ever have left.
Later this week, Mr. Trump will host a meeting of leaders from 68 nations to discuss strategy against ISIS. In Syria, government forces recaptured parts of Damascus a day after a surprise rebel incursion in the capital city. The rebel blitz marked the biggest infiltration of Damascus since 2012. The Syrian Air Force carried out airstrikes today on besieged areas. Activists reported dozens killed and said the fighting was continuing in some places. A new shakeup has hit the ride-sharing company Uber. Jeff Jones has resigned as president after 6 months on the job. In a statement, he says his beliefs are, quote, inconsistent with what I saw and experienced at Uber. The company faces allegations that it ignores sexual harassment. It also acknowledged using software to disguise its activities in cities around the world. Billionaire and philanthropist David Rockefeller died today. He was the last surviving grandchild of John D. Rockefeller, who built the Standard Oil fortune. David Rockefeller served as president of Chase Manhattan Bank for 20 years and was a major benefactor of the arts and conservation. He was 101 years old. Wall Street started this week with a lackluster showing. The Dow Jones Industrial Average lost 8 points to close below 20,906. The Nasdaq rose half a point, and the S&P 500 slipped 4. And there is a new happiest place on earth. It's Norway. It bested Denmark for the top spot in this year's World Happiness Report. The survey was co-authored by economists in the U.S. and Canada. It takes into account life expectancy, freedom, wealth, and other factors. The U.S. slipped a spot to 14th overall among 155 countries. The Central African Republic ranked last. Now, a new art exhibit explores contemporary life in the American West, as seen through the eyes of Latino artists and their immigrant experience. Jeffrey Brown is back with the story from Denver.
At the Denver Art Museum recently, an emotional moment for artist Ramiro Gomez and his parents.
I'm very proud of him.
He brought them here to see his newest work called Lupita, an installation that pays homage to a janitor who worked at these galleries. It was particularly poignant. Gomez's parents are themselves laborers, his mother a janitor, his father a truck driver.
I wouldn't be here without their labor. I wouldn't be here without their sacrifice.
Today, Gomez is an up-and-coming artist in Los Angeles, featured in galleries and exhibitions for work that captures a life of work by immigrants and others, not typically the subject of art.
It's important for me to highlight these people that are not going to be recorded in art history.
In Denver, Gomez was one of 13 young Mexican-American artists chosen for an exhibition called Mi Tierra. Their assignment, to create a new work that explores the idea of home and place in the American West. There were smaller paintings and larger installations, videos about the land before Europeans settled here, and a garden that looked like a giant piñata. Many of the artists tackled the politically charged topic of immigration. This piece contained an actual panel of the U.S.-Mexico border fence.
For me, place becomes a very difficult word to focus on, just because place is never permanent. We're constantly moving. There's constantly shifting. I am an American-born child to Mexican immigrants, so I'm at once Mexican and American. I'm in between. That in-between space, that in-between place that I occupy, is something that is constantly changing within myself.
Dmitry Obergfeld's installation reflects an internal identity struggle. He was raised in Colorado by his American mother and was estranged from his Mexican father until recently. For the museum, he recreated a market typical of many Latino neighborhoods in Denver, one that sells T-shirts, sculptures of narco saints, and praying hands with manicured nails.
The reason why I wanted to explore this sort of theme in this way, using like this market, is because I've kind of always existed on like the perimeter of Latino culture.
You feel complicated when it comes to identity?
I think that it would be maybe in bad taste for me to, take this opportunity and come into this exhibition and say, okay, I'm like fully Latino now. Like for me, it was just about exploring and having this sort of cathartic process to work through like these complicated identity ideas.
Jaime Correjo is a professor at Rocky Mountain College of Art and a fourth-generation American who grew up in the border city of El Paso, Texas. He created his own border wall with video images of Mexico projected on one side and of the U.S. on the other.
I'm really interested in the construction of divisiveness and how we use that to make people part of a group or exclude them. In making art, you can create complex discussions about complex issues because things don't exist in dualities.
That's interesting because there is a duality here, right? Yep. There's one country and there's another.
You have the dualities, but the wall itself, because of the reflective materials, they end up collapsing on each other. There'll be moments where the image of Mexico will be transcribed, and the image of the United States, you have this whole different landscape. You end up this complex layering or mix of an image, which I think is a perfect metaphor of what it means to be a U.S. citizen in the United States of America.
Landscape and two worlds colliding was also the focus for Daniela Edberg, who's lived her life back and forth in both countries. Her piece, titled Uprooted, featured a large crocheted root and plant system that weaves together photographs of immigrants and images from the Western terrain.
I've always had this thing of being like of two places.
Literally, I mean, that's how you grew up.
Yeah, that's how I grew up, with 2 languages, 2 points of reference culturally that are similar but not the same.
Yeah.
In my adulthood, I have found it very comforting to find connections between the places through the landscape.
How much are you watching the headlines, and reading the news and in this context?
Of course I'm watching what's going on, and and of course it informs my work. But I am also talking about stepping back and looking at the bigger picture.
The exhibition Mi Tierra shows through October. From the Denver Art Museum, I'm Jeffrey Brown for the PBS NewsHour.
On the NewsHour online right now, it's the first day of spring, and that means more hours of sunlight each day, and for some people, more sneezes. Why does just looking at the sun trigger our noses? We explore this strange phenomenon on our website, pbs.org/newshour. And finally, a correction to Friday night's program. In a report about carbon emissions, we had a missing word in the copy. We reported that emissions fell in the U.S. and China in 2016, and we should have said that that drop is thanks to greater use of renewable energy and nuclear and gas power. The NewsHour regrets the error, and we thank our alert audience members for flagging it. And that's the NewsHour for tonight. I'm Judy Woodruff. Join us online and again here tomorrow evening. Don't forget, you can tune in to watch day 2 of the Gorsuch confirmation hearings. That's on our website and social media platforms. That's starting tomorrow, 9:30 Eastern Time. For all of us at the PBS NewsHour, thank you, and we'll see you soon.
Major funding for the PBS NewsHour has been provided by...
It's hard not to feel pride as a citizen of this country when we're in a place like this.
BNSF Railway. And by the Alfred P. Sloan Foundation, supporting science, technology, and improved economic performance and financial literacy in the 21st century.
Supported by the John D. and Catherine T. MacArthur Foundation, committed to building a more just, verdant, and peaceful world. More information at macfound.org. And with the ongoing support of these institutions. This program was made possible by the Corporation for Public Broadcasting and by contributions to your PBS station from viewers like you. Thank you.
You're watching PBS.